This is Seen and Solved, and I'm your host, Tim Pennington. We're talking with Jason Potts, the finishing fixer, we call him. And Jason is facing off against a stubborn paraffin-based oil that was forcing workers to wipe every part with acetone before cleaning. It was costly, time-consuming, and not exactly safe. Jason found a better way, and it starts with knowing what to look for in the chemistry. Let's get into it.
This is Molly Kellogg, President and CEO of Hubbard-Hall, and this is our podcast, Seen and Solved. In each episode, we will share practical solutions to complex surface finishing problems. Let's listen in to the latest episode.
So, Jason, tell us about this. These employees of this facility were using acetone, right, to remove the oil. Tell us all about that and what problems that was causing.
Yeah, I was at a current customer of mine, and as I was walking through the shop, the owner had asked me, he told me to take a look at these parts. He goes, look what I have to have my employees do. He says, this is terrible. And they're having to wipe each particular part down. There's probably 3 or 4 employees doing it. And he goes, I've got them using acetone because whatever's on here, it doesn't come off. He says, I go through my soap, my electro, and by the time I plate them, I get blisters. If I don't wipe them off with acetone, or if I do wipe them off with acetone, I get a good part. So the challenge to me was, what do you have, that you can put in my soap tank to help remove this tenacious oil.
How was it getting on there? It was putting during the manufacturing process, right?
Yep, that's what we identified. We had to go back and look at the prints and then call the manufacturer. Once we called the manufacturer and understand why they were using that, it was a rust protective, and come to find out it was paraffin-based. And once I hear paraffin-based, as most metal finishers here, they cringe because it's just nasty. It doesn't want to come off. And most shops are like running cleaners at 180-degree high caustic, trying to remove this stuff. And it's just not fun. I can't stand this stuff. I wish nobody would use it, but it's used a lot.
They're using another chemistry, acetone, and it's the manpower that they're putting into this, right? So he was really spending some good money just in that step alone, right?
Absolutely. Manpower plus the cost of the acetone, because he was buying the acetone on top of the cleaner. So yeah, there was a huge cost factor in there for him. And
time, right? You got to do all these parts. You got to touch them all with that. When you saw what it was that was on there, did something come to your mind right away that you knew you had something that could take it off?
I've been with Hubbard-Hall now 3.5 years. I was talking to Tom Salvino, I think who you know also, and he had mentioned using the AquaEase PL 918 to remove oil off of transmissions that were being rebuilt. So it was either that or starters. There was something in the automotive industry that it was being used for, and he said it was unbelievable on how it removes the oils. So once I determined what the oil was and looking at the parts and looking at the restrictions on the line itself, because they could only go to 160 degrees, and Tom had also mentioned that cleaner works at a lower temperature than standard 180, I said, well, let's give the AquaEase PL 918 a shot and see what happens. And the manager of the shop was very reluctant. He's like, there's no way it's going to work. We've tried everything. We have to wipe these down. So it was a good challenge. And we did put in 918.
Again, you're talking about it's going to screw up the adhesion down the line, right? It's just not going to, if you don't get everything off of that, there's no way a coating is going to stick to the substrate with that. No way to penetrate that.
Exactly.
Got to all come off, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to get it all off.
How long did it take you guys to test it out to get it to work for him?
It took 1 week. We put it in on a Monday. Yeah, it was like on a Monday.
Normal? Is that normal for?
Yeah, I mean, if it is an off-the-shelf cleaner, but it's a high-end cleaner. So we had high confidence in it, knowing what it's done before with the experience with Tom and others in the company, and Mike Valenti himself. And we put it in. It started to work right away. And they're always like, well, it's working now. It's working now. It's working now. And we kept hearing it every day. And by the end of the week, they were 100% satisfied. They were getting, no more of the acetone wiping down parts. They were just super happy with it. So I was very happy too. It's always happy to win something.
You're talking about happy. I mean, let's go back to because they were spending money on, like you said, acetone, manpower. They were slowing the throughput process because they had to stop and clean all this stuff. I mean, that removed like 3 obstacles right there, didn't it? Just changing that out.
And the health hazard too. You don't want to be smelling the acetone again too. So there was that factor in there too.
You mentioned Mike Valenti, right? That the kind of the godfather of the 918, right?
Yes.
This 918, I mean, how old is this product, by the way, the AquaEase 918?
Good question. I don't know how old that product is, but I know, I'll just bring up another example. There's another product we sell, PWA 200, that when I first started in this industry, it was 30 years ago, and that product is still being used by other customers. So, I mean, Hubbard-Hall being the cleaning experts that they are, I'm guessing the 918 is probably quite old, or and it's just it's a solid formula.
Interesting. Your customer didn't mention to you as a problem. You kind of, like you said, you solved this, right?
Yeah.
Which sends a message to people that just because you did it this way for the last 12 years doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. Always ask those questions of people like yourselves or their chemical suppliers. What can I do? Or maybe even just invite you in to observe what they're doing, right?
Yeah, because it's an outside set of eyes. That's what happens a lot, in this industry, this job. It's day to day, people go and do the same thing, and if it's working, they don't know any different. It's like, oh, it works, but what about if we can improve it? So that's something I'm always looking at. How can I help you?
Kind of like the Apple Steve Jobs. You didn't know you needed this until I told you needed it, and like you said, that's a great supplier to be able to just kind of. I think we can make this better for you. And like I said, probably the thing that they're happiest with is the throughput. Right? They can get things through the line quicker, and like I said, the adhesion's probably going to be much better, because even though acetone and everything, you're not going to get all of it off if you're just doing it by hand. I don't believe, right? Yeah, that's quite interesting. And like I said, the 918 and using that and testing it out. Did you all test it at your facility first, or you just had so much confidence you did it at their facility right away?
We didn't have to test it this time. We'd had other applications where it worked. So in this particular case, we put it in, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. There's, you just run it as the technical data sheet tells you on the high end of the concentration, 160 degrees, and let it go. And it worked wonderfully.
It's safe for the employees, right? They're not having to have the acetone, having to be in contact with any of that stuff with that. But that's a very good win for everybody with that. But Jason, I appreciate you taking time out and telling them, and come back and tell us more of these, because like I said, I don't think a lot of people know the things that they should be doing unless they have an expert like you and they're kind of giving them those extra set of eyeballs. So thanks for bringing that to us.
Yeah, cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Our goal at Hubbard-Hall is to help you get better results with less chemistry. To hear more stories from the field, go to hubbardhall.com or wherever you stream your podcasts.